Hello, everybody, and welcome back. After game number one goes heavily in the favor of 100 Thieves next off of an incredible performance from the mid laner Insanity, somebody that we hyped up at the top of the show. He's played in Academy, he's played in LCS, and now on 100 Thieves next here. That was a level of performance that we have the kind of expectation of based on the level of play that he's already had under his belt, Smags.
Hey, no. I want to interrupt this
Magical
because
it?
you and I should know this, having been casting Academy for quite some time. When we think back to Immortals Academy and to Team Liquid Academy, this is the Insanity we knew and loved. To see him in this similar form to how he was back then, it really does give me a lot of hope for his future.
Oh, I said in the middle of that game, he's been playing a lot of Corki this split, and it's been good Corki games, but it's very boring. That was not boring. That was high octane Ari gameplay right there.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
The Ari was incredible. It was awesome to see that performance come out. And a reminder for everybody that now Winthrop University, the last collegiate team here, Maryville was out in the play-ins, and now Winthrop in the lower bracket here, one game away from elimination. So pressure is mounting for the collegiate representatives, hoping to make a deeper run at Proving Grounds, and also looking forward to their collegiate CLOL performances later on in the year. But with that said, that wraps up game one. Honestly, it was an Insanity diff right there. We can keep talking about the Ari performance till the end of this break, but we wanted to take some time to get to know the players a little bit instead, especially now that we're in the lower bracket and we will be saying goodbye to some of these. So we're going to be playing another game here while we're waiting for players to get ready for Pick and Ban that we like to call Tic Tac Trivia. Now, Smacks, I know that you have not been on this show yet, right? You haven't
true.
played this game?
I haven't played this game.
I have played tic-tac-toe and trivia games before, though, and I assume this is both of those together? Yeah, okay.
I can't believe Magical hasn't played this one yet.
I haven't played this.
All right, well, I'll explain the rules to the audience and then I guess to both of my contestants here. We're going to play tic-tac-toe, but in order to get your X's or your O's on the board, you first have to answer a trivia question about one of the players that is represented on the board as well. So, with that said, let's pull up the board right now here so I can show you who you can choose from the team. Now, unfortunately, we only have 9 players that we can fit on the tic-tac-toe board, so Sword, my apologies. I do have a fun fact for him. I do have a trivia bit, so we can cover that.
Wait,
but
give us that. I want to know his trivia.
You want to know the trivia for Sword? All right, we'll start off with the Sword trivia.
Yeah.
So the big story around Sword this year was his role swap to support, right? But this was not his first ever role swap. Little known. What other role, or what role did Sword play before he was a mid laner?
Wasn't it ADC?
You think it's AC? Smacks, do you have an answer?
I also think it's ADC, but I don't want to. I want to beat Magical. I don't want to tie with him, so I'm gonna say jungle.
Jungle? It was not either of those. It was support. He was a
Okay.
support player, and
That
then
feels like cheating. Hold on, that feels
And
like
now he's
cheating.
back to support.
That feels like cheating.
Well, I was going to say
Kinda
whoever
does.
answered that one correctly gets to go first, but now I'm just going to give it to Smacks as our representative, backing up
feels
the
like
amateur
cheating,
teams
though.
here from that broadcast. Smacks, looking at the players on the board, you can pick anyone that you want, and we're going to do some trivia about them to get to know them more together. Who are you picking?
I want the middle. I want Kenji.
Oh, clearly. Kenji. So, occasionally I'll have a secret board here where on that one there's an opportunity to answer 2 questions, and if you get both right, you get to go again. So you have a chance to go 2 in a row here. The first question for Kenji. Confusing almost every collegiate caster this season, what other account name did Kenji use in official CLOL matches?
Sir Kenji? Like SR Kenji?
Sir Kenji is not correct. That means Magical has a chance to steal. Magical, do you have an answer? What's the other? Well, you know what? To be fair, Smacks, yes, he did use that one also, but that one's not the confusing one. So I gotta ask
That's why
Magical.
I'm more confused. I'm like, feel like
Clearly, you two have been watching your collegiate then.
No,
this split.
well, look,
You're outing yourselves.
It's like I've been busy with something else, Steve.
Yeah, what could that possibly have been? What could that have been? Throw out an answer. We gotta
Doxa.
go quick.
I just said Doxa. I don't know.
You just said Doxa?
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually hilarious.
That
No
is actually
way.
right.
No
Wait,
way.
I'm actually gonna give it to you.
No way.
Technically, it was TSM Doxa.
Oh, God.
But yes, I'm gonna give it to you because you got it. He actually has an account named TSM
I remember
Doxa.
that now. That is actually 100% right. How did you know? You definitely knew.
I just guessed. I just guessed the name. And I'm
That's
like,
incredible. Great job. All right, we got to get through these quick, though, because the players are getting ready for Pick and Ban. Smacks. Oh, wait, Smacks was just up. Magical stole it. Magical, you're up now. Who do you want to go for on the board here? I'll show you the board again. You got Kenji's one.
Give me Ivano. I'll take Ivano.
Ivano. All right. For Ivano, this is a multiple choice.
Okay.
Now, he just had an unfortunate LeBlanc performance in that last game, but it is actually his second most played champion throughout his competitive career. Before this game, what was his win rate on the champion? Was it A, 25 to 40%, B, 41 to 55%, C, 56 to 70%, or D, 71% plus?
No, Ivano, I have faith. 71 plus.
71% plus. We'll actually want to bring this one back up to full screen so that way we can see if it is in fact correct.
Look,
because
this is just a shot in the dark.
Magical's just going to speed run this one.
Am I
ding,
really
ding,
getting
ding.
these
That is
right?
correct.
No
Oh,
way.
no.
I have
Ivano has a
guessed twice.
72.7% win rate on LeBlanc before this game. I don't know how this game interacted with that, of course. I believe it was like 13 games total that he played. But there we go. Ivano's LeBlanc usually is correct. He's also supported like a 6+ KDA on it. So
Look,
I don't want that performance to make anybody judge him for the pick.
I'll be honest. I chose Ivano to try to give Smacks an opportunity because I don't really know much about Winthrop. So I'm like, all right,
Magical's
here
too good.
And then I just take a shot in the dark for a second time, and I'm right.
Now, again, we want to speed through this. Smacks, you're up next. You're the hot seat. Who are you going to go for?
I have to pick my bud.
You're going to go for Mabud. All right, let's take a look with Mabud. Now, Mabud, his IGN is a combination of two of his dogs' names. Can you name at least one of his dogs?
Buddy.
Buddy. Mabud, you think that part of the name is Buddy? Well, I have to say, you're absolutely correct. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations, Smacks.
That sounded right. That sounded right to me, too.
Now, unfortunately, as obvious as that one probably was, we will not have time to cover the rest because the players are getting ready to hop into pick and ban. But because we still want to give due to all the players, we're going to go through all the ones that weren't guessed yet. Magical, you will win this round because you got 2 on the board.
Yeah, I guess
Vex
twice.
has
and I
over
win.
1 million mastery points on his primary account on which champion? Twitch chat, this is your chance to spam it.
Ezreal?
It's Lucian.
Lucian.
He has
Ooh, oh,
over
wow.
1 million champion points on it.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
Fnatic, according to Fnatic, he is better than Array on which AD carry champion?
Draven.
That answer is Ezreal.
Oh.
Now, clapping back, Array said that he's better than Fnatic at which jungle champions? This one's plural. And that,
Udyr.
that's one.
Oh, no way.
Hecarim?
Lee Sin was the other. Lee Sin was the other.
Oh.
And then I'll just go through the rest real quick here. According to Insanity, if the entire team was on a desert island, Array dies first. Bonus points if you got How eaten by a large animal.
I agree.
Sniper, after winning Twitch Rivals at the end of 2020, had a competitive ruling preventing him from streaming for a certain LCS-affiliated org. Which org was that? That was Cloud9. Think of what could have been if he had actually been signed to Cloud9 before 100 Thieves. And then, of course, Frost Force, despite not being as young as General Sniper when he first hit Challenger, how old was he? The answer was 17. 1 year after he finished being a door-to-door salesman. I don't know what he was selling, but that was also a fun fact that he gave me. So maybe we can get some like salesman bits with Frost Force at some point. But with that said, the players are ready to get into champion select for game number 2. So I'm going to pass it back over to Magical and Smacks to get us underway.
All right. Thank you so much, Kangas. I still cannot believe I won off a technicality for guessing 2 things, one of which was the biggest shot in the dark that I've ever taken because I'm like, I don't know, Doxadif maybe, and it was right.
If we combine our answers, we did win the game.
Yeah, we
if you
did.
combine the X's and the O's together. So
This is
I'm
true.
going to count that as a collaborative win between the 2 of us.
Yes, we are the play-by-play in color. We are a team here. We work together, and we won. All right, now let's get into this game. Let's talk about 100 Thieves next and Winthrop, because Winthrop, with their back against the wall, each game will now matter so much, because losing this game alone means they are knocked out. They have to win for the heart and soul of Collegiate here, and also the fact that Collegiate, if we look at them, was the one team besides Taco Gaming beforehand that had won a single game in this entire Proving Grounds. So now now looking at it and how it's going to move forward, they have to step up. They have to take that mantle from Maryville and say, hey, we can take wins off these top teams as well.
Yeah, hopefully for Winthrop, they can continue doing that and continue getting reps in against these really strong teams so that they are as prepared as possible moving forward into the CLOL season, as they're going to completely rob away this Ari pick from Insanity. That's going to Ivano.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that, taking that away. Early Lee Sin pick where last time they had waited till the very end to lock that in. I'm actually liking this from the side of Winthrop. Deny
me
that,
too.
and now the skill matchup is on the other foot. Insanity is the one with LeBlanc.
That is so bold, Magical. That is absolutely hilarious. His Insanity completely crushed the entirety of Winthrop in game number 1. He is now taking the other side of the matchup to try to see if he can do it on both sides. That is hysterical. And I believe him, honestly. After that game, I believe anything Insanity says.
Same here. That game 1 was absolutely immaculate from this mid laner. And that's why I say I applaud him. This looks like the Insanity that I know and love, the one that I've casted for many years now. And seeing him perform like that on Ahri, now we get to see if he can replicate that on LeBlanc. It is going to be an exciting matchup. Ivano, someone who's used to playing LeBlanc, now has to go into it and see if he can perform just as well as Insanity had before.
You had the call out in the last draft, Magical, on the Xayah. This time it actually will reign true. Array's going to be taking that one. Most likely the lethality early game style that we've seen from most of the bottom laners gives 100 Thieves Next a lot of early power again. They are also saving counterpick for their top laner Sniper this time around because Mabud did go ahead and lock in this Gnar right away. This, to me, Magical, tells me that Winthrop are going to go for another one of their really cool bottom lane duos that they've already shown to us earlier on in the tournament. Against Team Liquid Academy, they pulled out things like the Lucian Nami and the Senna Seraphine, and both of those are still available on the board right now. Really difficult to actually pry them away from each other, especially now that 100 Thieves do have Xayah locked in.
I'm almost hoping that we get that Lucian Nami. I think that one was a really good performing one when I look at how that last match went. Sure, they didn't pick up the win, but it was definitely something that had a lot of power for the team, especially when you look into something like Xayah, who is going to go that lethality route most likely. Can go crit, but they deny it. Lucian has been taken away from Vex.
And we'll see if they still want to go for that Senna Seraphine that we saw earlier on in the tournament. I really liked it. I think that could be really cool. But yeah, both of those marksmen taken off the board. It seems like they are kind of just poking the bear a little bit, saying, hey, Vex, why don't you play some Ezreal? Why don't you do it? He's your most played. Show it to us. And Vex, it looks like, is going to take the challenge right now. Locking that one in. I'm really excited. Vex has looked so consistent on this champion all throughout this entire split. It may not be a million mastery points, but there's a reason that I thought that was a champion in question because he has looked so good.
He's played Ezreal, I think, more in competitive. Is why Ezreal.
Yeah,
and so
especially this year.
Yeah, at least this year. Yeah, and looking at how he's performed on it, it has been one of his best champions. And going into Array, who's got the Lovers duo in the spot lane with Sword grabbing that Rakan, there is going to be a lot on his back. Make sure he can avoid a lot of that damage that's going to come through, as well as the engage with that Rakan.
And typically in a lot of drafts, you would see that Rakan banned away in the phase 2, but Winthrop are really worried about this topside matchup, even though they had a really safe blind pick. And this is why. Sniper's Akali has been crucial to so many 100 Thieves Next victories over the course of this entire split. Now, some of those were on the Turbo Chem Tank Akali. That was very powerful. If you guys remember that one out there, I had a lot of fun with that champion. I can't imagine that that is something that Sniper is going to do again for us today. However, he is still very skilled as a champion mechanically, and that is definitely something we're going to see right now.
I remember you talking a lot about that on Twitter, about how the Turbo Chem Tank Akali was really powerful. And sure enough, it was. It was a very dominating thing for a while until the nerfs came through for it. But here, in this game, we get to see Sniper on something that is going to be very aggressive early on, right out the gates into Mabud's Gnar. I'm not the biggest fan of blind Gnars. I've said this many a time. I know people can disagree with me on that one, but this is a reason why. I'm looking at Sniper, who has Ignite on this Akali, to look for a level 3 play where he could solo kill Mabud.
Even at level 6, you can do that. Even despite Mega Gnar having a huge health pool, you have all that execute damage with perfect execution, and the Ignite mitigates a lot of the healing that you can sometimes get if you go for like Divine Sunderer on Gnar from time to time. I wouldn't expect that in this game, but it is an option. As we load into this Rift, really looking forward to that topside matchup once again, just like in the last time. However, interestingly, in this game, Magical, we do have a lot of that early game burst. This time it's on 100 Thieves next. They've sort of fixed the draft problem that Winthrop had in the last game, and they do have some DPS built into this team in the form of Fnatic's Hecarim.
I'm writing these down, by the way, just so you know. Write down your notes. Because it's always important, kids, to make sure you take notes when you're listening to your professors talk about the game. Because here, I am looking at 100 Thieves. They have that burst potential, but they do have the DPS as well. They don't have to rely on just bursting down these members on Winthrop. But when I look at Winthrop, the one thing I actually noticed from them is they do have a good ability to dodge away from this. They have good flankers. They have both Ivano and Mabud, the Ahri and Gnar combo that I'm really excited to see. You got Frost Force displacement as well as the non-committal engage from Kenji.
So much movement for really everyone here for Winthrop. I'm pretty pumped to see this style of drafting come out from them. And it's still Frost Forest playing this early game champion of the Lee Sin that he got all of his team's kills on in the last game. I know Frost Forest is no stranger to this competitive landscape. He did sub in for an academy team, Cloud9 in specific, and he's been playing some scrims off and on throughout the split and others before. However, this is a do-or-die situation for him, and if he does want to remain in this competitive landscape of Academy and Proving Grounds, he needs to actually show some more looks from him, not just that last game where he got a bunch of kills on Lee Sin.
It's do or die for Frost Force, but also for Collegiate. Their hopes rely on Winthrop's victory. They got to take down a Titanic team, a team they have faced off against before, losing 0-2-2 as well. Sniper played in the first game of that matchup, this Akali. It was into Tom Kench's top lane, but it was something that they were able to find victory off. And now Winthrop actually really like this look. They have a late invade. They force sword out, but they just follow up, getting the damage, getting the flash, looking on Array, who flashed over the wall, but they have control of the bottom half of the map.
It's a double flash. Oh, and they even get the ward with the last auto attack from Vex. That's pretty huge, because now Frost Forest gets to take this one blind. He can do this without a leash, and they know the Fnatic is on the other side of the map. Very similar to what I was talking about last game. As Hecarim, you don't really want to miss a beat by going and doing anything crazy in the early game. So Fnatic is going to try his best to clear out all of these camps and maybe go for some vertical jungling too. We're gonna maybe see Fnatic go for an invade once he's done with his top side.
However, it's risky. Look at the lane states right now, Max. We look at every single lane pretty much having priority for Winthrop. Going for an invade, the vertical jungling, actually could be detrimental to Fnatic because they don't know if Frost Force immediately bailed from this side of the jungle.
And if they're wrong and Frost Forest is still there and Fnatic goes up to top lane, then it could be dangerous. But they find him on Krugs.
Yeah, just a little bit too overextended. He might have to burn that flash he held onto the entire time, but he can't even do that. It's first blood for Fnatic.
Wow, I'm pretty surprised he didn't try to flash over any of these walls, but Fnatic still is so fast, so I understand in the end. Gives over first blood, doesn't even take away all of those Krugs. Now Frost Forest is the one who is set very far behind, just because Fnatic is so much faster than him on the clear. Turns out taking all of those Krugs was very risky.
It was not even just very risky, it was detrimental to Frost Forest. The thing that also bothers me is they had priority in that bot lane. He should have called up Kenji for a play like this, where Kenji's now looking towards the mid lane since Insanity had gotten that advantage. But Insanity's patient on these assertions. He's been waiting it out. He isn't going for the full aggressive plays into Ivano like Ivano did to him.
Insanity escaping that one. No flash used on this play either, and Kenji just sort of left with nowhere to go right now. Fnatic does not have that problem.
Not at all. And now Mabud has to try to hop away from this fight. He takes a lot of damage from Fnatic. He has flash available if he needs to. It's going to be a while until he has Mega Gnar. It's going to be a turret taken by Fnatic, but really he doesn't mind.
And Mabud is very thankful that his character model is not larger, because if it was, he would have been hit by that shuriken flip and certainly killed even through the flash. Unfortunate for Sniper that he whiffs that one, but Fnatic still gets a lot of pressure in that lane. And so far, that's been true of the entire map. Array and Sword don't have their flashes, but him relieving that pressure by going for that full camp clear on his entire side of the jungle, instead of the greedier path of the vertical, make sure that his bottom lane does not get punished super heavily, and Array and Sword are still in this lane because of it.
Now, here, Kenji went aggressive on Array, but this is the Lovers duo. You're forced to heal just to survive, and Fnatic, it seems like he's at every single lane at every single time. He's looking for the play in the bot lane, getting a lot of damage onto Kenji, the flash, in fact, too, but not gonna go for the dive.
More pressure bottom lane. This is huge. Thanks to Fnatic, Array and Sword are staying alive, staying afloat in a matchup that, as you said, they should have a pretty solid 2v2 in because they're playing this Zyrakan. So much synergy, so much power in that 2v2. But because those flashes were blown earlier, they didn't have it. Now it's back.
Yeah, and this is actually going to be something that Winthrop have to see if they can capitalize on soon. They haven't really had a play made because Frostforce has been trying to get back into this game. This given a lot of opportunities to the laners of 100 Next to play aggressively into Ivano, into Mabud, into the bot lane. So now, where previously it had been lane priorities for Winthrop all across the board, is now reversed.
You don't typically see that from a Hecarim very often either, Magical, because usually you just want to farm up super heavily on Hecarim, and Fnatic, he has still been able to do that. You can see that he wasn't panicking. Even in that first play, he took all of his topside camps, and he knew that he still had all of this extra time to work with. And now, Sword's getting in on the party.
And that was a great knock-up, too, to deny the hop away from Abud, so Sniper can take him down.
No flash from Abud. Ignite is there for Sniper and Sword. They double ignite him just to be safe. You know, you never can be too safe. As Sword and Sniper find another one. And yeah, it's every lane at this point. Frostforce knows he can't impact the lanes like he wanted to on this Lee Sin. The best bet he has is just take away these objectives while he knows Fnatic and Sword are up there.
Identity getting a good trade on Ivana, but he took a turret shot. So he has to, instead of fully aggressing and looking for a potential solo kill on Ivana, bail out of that one. While Frostforce does the one thing he can.
Oh boy.
He takes that, and now he's allowing Fnatic just to clean up his kill in the mid lane. Easily done.
Wow, that was really cool from Fnatic, because there's definitely a chance that Ivano was able to escape that, but you can tell right there that he had the heads-up awareness to check and see if Ivano had enough mana to actually cast Spirit Rush. Knowing that that wasn't available and knowing the only option was Flash, he continues forward with the charge and finds his team another kill early game. Again, this is the guy who has been put far behind because Frostforce had a successful invade early game. Fnatic is still finding these advantages.
See, and I wouldn't even praise Sword in that as well, because he was right there on the flank in case there was enough mana for Ivana to use Spirit Rush. They had everything completely under control.
And this is one of my favorite things about Sword and Fnatic as a duo in this split. They have been so destructive when they link up early and spread around the entire Rift. You can really tell that in this time on Proving Grounds, these few weeks, that is something they've been really trying to hone and further progress on this team. And for these players too, who are, as we keep saying, trying to get promoted into Academy for another try.
Oh, Sniper, is he going to look for the solo kill on Bud? He doesn't have Mega available at all, but he's getting a lot of damage and perfect executes Bud.
Good job there, Sniper. I told you this guy's Akali is sick. I know you believed me, but everyone out there needs to know. With the solo kill, this further solidifies all of these lanes are winning 400 Thieves next. Everybody has either died or been forced to flash out, and Winthrop have lost so much pressure. This is what 100 Thieves next has been able to do to all of the amateur teams all throughout this entire split, and they are not stopping here in PG.
So Snacks, we got to turn at the tables, unless, of course, Insanity gets a solo kill on Ivana, the Charm connecting, but I don't think Insanity really cares. He got a lot of damage on Ivana, but going back to what I was trying to say, what can Winthrop possibly do to get back in this game? Because we look at the solo kill in the top lane. I mean, you pretty much have to just count out top lane. That is all Sniper.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal up there at this point. We do know that Winthrop has this really consistent bottom laner on their team for Vex. Honestly, I've been watching Vex for a really long time. We're going to hold that out. Nice flash for Insanity. I've been watching Vex play for a super, super long time, and I can honestly say this is the best split I've ever seen Vex pilot, and he's been around for a really long time, so that is saying something. But his Ezreal and his utility picks like Jhin as well have been so consistent for Winthrop, and his damage late game has been there to boot. He certainly is still a win condition, and he does have a lead in that bottom lane.
I was about to say, he's one of the few players on the team that has a sizable lead, but now Insanity This is just Insanity Diff at the moment, unless he can escape from this. But he is still back in the back line, getting Cavano, the distortion, the mimic. It was confusing all the members of Winthrop. Finally, he'll fall, but he took down the mid laner with him.
Finally, Winthrop find one kill as Frostforce looking for more. Fnatic charges in.
Oh, Onslaught of Shadows gets a huge fear. Frostforce has a flash, but the Grand Entrance knockup coming in from Sword for Sniper to go on a killing spree, and they get 4 kills under Sniper's belt.
Man, look at Sword actively getting all of this crowd control in the middle of these skirmishes through the Akali Shroud too. Beautiful stuff onto this Rakan. And even though he's not linking up with the Lovers duo, he's able to bounce off of his teammates with this battle dance. As we watch the beginning of this one more time, Insanity. Honestly, it's really hard to even tell where he is in this skirmish because of the LeBlanc passive and the distortions.
I honestly love how he used the Mimic, because you can control that for a brief amount of time. And he used that to his full advantage to get the kill, and then the re-engage from 100x.
Oh, man. And he gets all of the crowd control. He doesn't panic and use the Grand Entrance too early. That's one of my favorite things to do with Rakan. And it's one of the signs of a very skilled Rakan player, too, where you know that they can't escape if you just charm them. And then you have more crowd control time where you wait the entire duration of the charm and then you knock them up afterward. It makes Rakan into one of those champions that have just so much lockdown, like a Leona or a Nautilus.
This is where, you know, we haven't gotten to sing the praises enough of Sword in this series, but this game we really do have to continue that song because he has been absolutely pivotal to these leads gained by all the other lanes. That gank top lane to get Sniper the first kill so he could solo kill Mabud later. Then you look at the first game where he went early, got Insanity, killed on Ahri into LeBlanc, and now here, again, tag teaming with his mid laner to try to help out another kill.
And Aurelia, or not Aurelia, LeBlanc, I don't know why I said Aurelia, and Rakan are so fun to play together because you have double dashes on both of them as Sniper's at 1v2.
He goes invisible, but he can't get away. Once they spot you out, so he is shut down by Frostforce, and that is actually something that Winthrop needed to get back into this game, is getting this Lee Sin a little bit more gold so he can fight against someone like Fnatic, but Fnatic is so far ahead right now. Even with heal, you have Flash, you have Arcane Shift. There's the Arcane Shift, but Fnatic can look for the dive or can. It's a bit of damage. True Shot Barrage goes wide. Vex survives.
Yeah, Fnatic knows that Vex still has that flash available, so not further diving underneath that turret. Just buying time for his marksman, who's been really just left alone to his own devices in this game for the majority of it. And the other side, Frostforce, seeing that play, goes top.
Oh, but that was a good quickness to make sure he could not escape. So even if you got the Rift Herald, you died to Insanity.
There it is again here, Magical. The crowd control lockdown onto Frostforest. Even with all the mobility of Lee Sin, you can't escape from everything. And Sword hits him with everything. It's a Rift Herald for Winthrop. They miss out on this Drake most likely, and they give over yet another kill.
This is honestly just showing us why we were so hyped about 100 next going into Proving Grounds. How that first round loss. First round two loss for them was something that really took us all off guard because we expected this level of play from them, utilizing Sword to get leads in their side lanes, having someone like Sniper pop off, even if he died to the gank that came in from Frostforce, gave her a bit of shutdown to him. They still have sizable leads in most of their lanes.
And at this point in this Proving Grounds, for 100 Thieves, they really need to try to continue that story. Will the story at the end of Proving Grounds be, well, they were really good against the amateur teams. They completely crushed them. They were just caught off guard by the scenery shift, and FlyQuest Academy was able to take advantage of that. Or are they actually one of those top teams? Could they continue on the legacy of teams like NoOrg and Wildcard in summer, where these amateur teams can continue to progress further and further and further and be competitive in the highest tier of Academy here?
And that's something we'll find out as long as they can pick up this victory over Winthrop. This game is not quite over just yet. If you look at the gold, it's only about 2,000 that separates the two teams. Now a little bit less with that charge from Shelly.
Well, we're getting some more gold into these players here. Oh, Fano, I get so worried.
Oh, they're looking for it. Sword,
no.
Insanity, name a better duo, I dare you.
That's brutal. Oh, nice kick.
Nice kick, but okay, Kenji does flash, so he will survive, but this is what I keep talking about, Sword, and I'm going to continue to sing his praises in this game. Not even this game, this series so far. We have seen this look from this player who, if we're listening to Kangas, is he went from support to, well, it was mid, support, mid, support. This is a player who's played support before, but he's looking so good with the shot calling. And now, Sniper dodging away from the fight from Winthrop. That was so well done.
Man, they jumped on each other. They give the in tandem thumbs up emotes. I love that. As oh, goodbye, Vex.
Yeah, look at the damage coming in from Insanity. Distortion's back, flashes forward with that Orb of Destruction so they can pick up a kill, and Kenby will be the next target, even if he's underneath the turret. Double kill for Insanity.
Man, I was looking forward to seeing if Insanity would be able to do this on both sides of the matchup, and at this point, Magical, we can confidently say that he can. He's crushing both champions as either one is Sniper. Gets a solo kill on him a bud.
Doesn't even have the ult. He just went for it. He's like, okay, I have enough faith in myself that I can pick up that kill, and he does it. That is insane.
Oh man, this series is just about over at this point. Fnatic and an Array are able to take down a bunch of damage down there, so we get to watch Insanity. This is all the confidence that I had into Vex is because I've definitely been there on both sides of these champions. As long as you get in range of the LeBlanc will be able to kill you from just about anywhere. And then they follow up onto Kenji as well. He doesn't have flash.
Yeah, this is great from Insanity, where he was 1-1 just a couple minutes ago. Now he's 5-1, same as Sniper. I was even saying, I was gonna say, game 1 was Insanity's game. Game 2 is Sniper's, but really, we're seeing Insanity bounce back in such a way on this LeBlanc. He's got 2,000 gold over Ivano at this point. And he's pretty much just saying, thanks, Sword. Thanks for getting me fed. Now I got it from here.
If game 1 was Insanity's, then I think game 2 is everybody's, except for maybe Array. He hasn't been able to do a whole lot. But that's because the rest of his team is playing very well.
Yeah, I was about to say, what can you do when your whole
team's
team's just absolutely dominating?
No, yeah, I'm not throwing shade at Array. I'm just saying that he's played a stable lane and he wasn't very loud. But he does still have a huge lead.
Now Insanity, double distortions onto Ivana, but with 3 members of Winthrop nearby. Insanity plays this wisely. He saw Kenji over the wall, but doesn't know that Frostworks is there. Now, of course he does. But he was playing very cautiously just in case, getting a little bit of damage onto Kenji as well. You gotta love this from Insanity. Keeping the attention of 3 members while his team, mid lane, just gets a kill on Vex all the way at the inhibitor tower.
Yeah, it was between 2 turrets. They were able to kill Vex. A very slippery champion on the Ezreal. Looks like he did use the heal in that exchange. And he's going to go down. He's going to give over this turret as well. This will be the 3rd in a row for 100 Thieves next. And I think they're looking for top lane as well once they're done with this one. Now they're finally getting Array involved. Look at this. He's helping out with all the turrets. Array gets to click things.
I do find it funny that Array was there in mid lane for the play where they got the kill onto Vex. Didn't even get any kill credit.
That's
He's
true.
Just got it there to help out with the turret. I've been there as well.
He's like, doing his job.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is my purpose? You hit the turret. Oh my god. That's all your job is. It's like back in the day when we saw a lot of Sivir, the lethality Sivers, where you had one job, push the wave. That's it. You didn't fight. It was PvE. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't know if Array's a Sivir player per se.
But I'm just saying, it's a similar mindset.
Yes, for sure. We have him a bud. He's got the demolish. He's got the backup.
Uh-oh, Sniper, nice dodge away. Using the shuriken flip, get out of danger. Looking for the perfect execution. Team's not nearby though, and he sees that there's too many members for him to fully go aggressive. Maybe just a little bit onto him, bud. He is cautious as well, and it allows a lot of time for his team to push bottom lane. Because look who's there. It's Insanity and, of course, Array.
4 members to be exact there for Winthrop, able to push Sniper off of that turret and take a structure of their own alongside this Rift Herald. But as you just said, they gave over so much on the other side of the Rift. That's a full Infernal Dragon, a turret again, and 100 Thieves next don't even skip a beat. They're like, okay, Sniper, just dodge everything, all right? We're going to go take everything else off of the entire Rift. And Sniper says, aye, aye, Captain. I can do that.
And I mean, Insanity, Sniper, both of them. Both of them have such fancy feet in this game. They're dodging away from so many skill shots out of Winthrop. This is breaking their ankles. They just can't touch these people.
I love that my bud is just shimmying in and out of this range to buff up the cannon minion and be annoying.
I know, he's just like, oh, you want it? You want it? Nope. You want it? Nope. Now he sees people nearby. He's like, all right, I got to get out of here. It doesn't seem safe anymore. I think I messed with them too much, and now he's called for reinforcements. In fact, that's exactly what happened. That's a lot of damage on a Frost Force. Unstoppable Insanity. They've got to even a dive on him above underneath the turret, but he's about to go Mega. They back off instead. They'll take the one kill they got.
Frost Forest atones for the sins of his top laner at that point, being too annoying as another play happens.
Oh, and look at Insanity. His target selection. He sees Vex, and he's like, that's the one I really want. Charm connects onto Fnatic, but the Everfrost doesn't. With a Ray out of there, they're just going to back off. Winthrop don't really want to fight because they would be outnumbered.
Uh-oh. Oh, wow.
He's
Kenji
fine,
has to flash out of that one. In range of the tether, yeah, he would have died for sure. But again, this is another instance where he does not have that flash for later. And people getting whittled down and bursted down like this on the side of Winthrop just means more turret damage for 100 Thieves. Array gets to keep clicking things. That's all he wants to do in this game. He's continuing to be able to do it.
PvE. That's it.
he can get the feather damage too, yeah.
Nope, PvE. It's all PvE in this game. The Feather Storm, is, the Blade Recall is all just to clear out the minion waves. That's all it's for.
Well, even though he's just hitting minions, he's almost done with his Muramana, so that's nice. That's at least something he can play toward.
See, right there. Use it again. Clear out the minions.
We keep making jokes about this because the rest of 100 Thieves Next are just able to take every single thing they want off of the Rift and pave the way. It's a full, like, protecting Array game here.
Solar Flare connects onto Sword, but Sword, at this point, he's the one actually doing damage. There's a raise damage coming through for his first kill of the game. This should set up a nice win for 100 Next as they dive onto Vex into the back line. That's a lot of damage coming in from Sniper with the TB in the behind, but they don't even need it. They already got the kill on the Vex. They're looking for Ivano underneath the turret. They've got a double knock him on the other side on the and on Frost Force with an easy ace for the side of 100 Next. They are proving why they are the #1 team of amateur.
And they're proving it in Proving Grounds as well as they take that 5-0, move over to the Baron, and very well soon will take that 2-0 victory today as we get to see the beginning of this play one more time. Kenji, he finds a pretty solid engage, but the rest of his team just is not in range. They don't have the confidence to go forward with all of this, and we get to see all of the damage and destruction. Sniper perfectly predicting the movement of Vex. They get to take everything they want off underneath this turret as well. And as we come back to live, we'll see the Baron is dead. 22 minutes in, 100 Thieves Next. Maybe we'll be able to finish this game faster than the last one.
Now, honestly, they are set up to win so handedly. You've got everyone now. With everyone except for Sword has a bounty on their heads. That's how far ahead 100 X are.
Man, I'd feel left out if I was him. You don't want to kill me? Come on, game.
Well, it's also the fact that I feel like Sword's been doing so much for the team, too.
I think he has the highest kill participation. Oh, yeah, he definitely does by a lot. 13 assists. Not too shabby on the Rakan. Again, this guy's a recent role swap player, completely filling in to the role on this team and stacking up against some of the best we have in amateur. And I mean, Insanity was just an LCS player too, and Sword continuing to show that he is good enough to compete with his team and against everyone in Proving Grounds as well.
And while Sniper was the one we're really building up at the beginning of the day, and he is doing a damn good job on this quality. I'll have to put that on a pause because they got the kill on effect pretty easily for Insanity. He is dominated in this game. Kenji or Ivano, who will be your next target? It will be Kenji, taken down by Fnatic. The #2 seed curse is not powerful enough to stop Fnatic. He was the one who kept knocking down the #2 seeds, and he, as the #2 seed, will take victory.
Breaking the curse right now here, Magical. We're seeing a recall, but it's just going to be teleporting right back in. They're trying to end the game right now.
Look at my bud. My bud's trying to end the game as well. They've got one kill. It's on Insanity, but it's not enough. It won't be in time. It is a series victory. Yes, sweet. Coming in from 100 Next, proving themselves that they are the #1 amateur team.
Well done, 100 Thieves Next. This is the team that we were promised at the start of the term. This is the team that we were so excited to see move forward, and they're finally here. They're finally back at the top, and I couldn't be more proud of these guys. I've been watching them for so long, and they're here again.
Yeah, it's honestly, this is an incredible bounce back from that loss they suffered against FlyQuest Academy, where it was just a 2-0 sweep. It looked like FlyQuest had control the entire time. Here, it was the opposite for 100 Thieves Next. They were the ones fully in control from moment one in both of these games, knocking out the last hope for Collegiate.
If this is how 100 Thieves Next are going to play for the rest of the tournament, then those people who said these are a top 4 team might end up being right by the end, Magical. That was a great performance. They will need to keep that one up through the rest of this tournament. And it starts later this week on Friday against the Academy team. Oh, that matchup is going to be spicy.
Civil War will be Friday, so make sure you stay tuned for that one, because that will be very exciting to see 100 Thieves Academy versus 100 Thieves Next, and which one comes out on top. There's a lot to prove for both teams, proving that you're the ones that deserve to be in the Academy, and also proving that you deserve to be promoted to Academy for both of these squads. And we'll see how that ends up going on Friday. But I do want to give a final farewell to Winthrop for that loss they suffered here. I think you talked about it best. Vex was a very consistent player, but there's very little you could do in that second game as Vex when everything else is falling apart.
We've all had those games where we're either a AD carry main or we're filled bot lane, and you load up, you lock your favorite champion, and then you see on the other side of the rift, oh, they've got Hecarim and LeBlanc. I'm dead. And yeah, that's just how that goes sometimes. Vex tried his heart out.
It was even worse. There were Khan LeBlanc. That combo was far more devastating for Winthrop than the Hecarim with LeBlanc.
That was really good. Big props to Sword in that game, really competing with the best of the best. And yeah, I mean, his Rakan has been really good throughout this entire split. Might want to ban that one away from him if he's going to be that comfortable on it.
Sword, this was a series. Like, we kept focusing on Sniper and on Sanity because they were the ones who had the impressive score lines. But Sword was the one setting up a lot of that. They got a nice win off the back of these early engages coming in from Sword, and I gotta say, I'm very impressed with this player.
You know, one metaphor I always like to make when it comes to big carries and then the people who are supporting them is curling, because you got the person who like pushes the puck across the ice, and they get all the glory and everything because they have the good aim, but they don't get to do any of that without the guys like at the brushes like. Okay, and the brush person is Sword in this series. He is the one who's setting everyone up. He's the one who's making sure their aim is on point and they have a steady trajectory to the end. Big credit to Sword. And, big credit to the carries on the team as well. Yeah. They did have some nice curling aim there, too.
Oh, agreed. It was fantastic by 100 Thieves Next, and they will continue on in the Proving Grounds. We're going to toss it to a break now. When we come back, Kangas will be here for an interview. Make sure you stay tuned.
It's really too late. You better stop and figure out if there's another way. I hate to be the one who has to break it to you. You gotta take the beat and it don't feel good. And I don't know what you're waiting for. Give it a go, we'll take you home. You can put your tail out between your knees. You know we're gonna win, so you better not try. You know we're gonna give the crowd what we're tonight.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for our post-match interview. I have the successful and victorious mid laner for 100 Thieves next. Rocking the polo, too. I'm liking the look. Welcome, Insanity. First off, congratulations on making quick work in this lower bracket round 1 match in a 2-0 victory. The opposite of what got you here against FlyQuest Academy. So I want to start off with that because the team's looking really strong right now. What's the difference between this week, 100 Thieves next, and what we saw last week?
I think the series we lost against FlyQuest Academy was actually a really good learning experience for the team overall. So I think we took a lot off of that and used it in our scrims this week and just improved a lot. And I think building up momentum off of this series win as well is pretty important for us going into the future.
Sure. Now, last week was, of course, your first opportunity to play against an academy team. What kind of expectations did you have going into that? And did FlyQuest meet those expectations, exceed them? Kind of like, what was your first opinion of getting an opportunity to play against an academy team this split?
I guess on stage, it was a little bit different. We had, I guess, lower expectations for our opponents. Obviously, they played really well that series and they took us 2-0. But we have scrimmed academy teams in the past, and usually it has went very, very well. So obviously, we were expecting to pretty much just take the series and move on. But we lost, and we learned where our flaws lie. So it is what it is, and I think we will still be strong going into our future games, especially against our academy team this coming next 2 days, I think.
Yeah, that's a big one on Friday. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. But first, I want to chat a little bit about kind of the narrative that us on the broadcast, a lot of the fans have had of 100 Thieves Next as a team. Like you've said, you've scrimmed against Academy teams. You beat Golden Guardians Academy earlier on in one of the OQs. The weight of expectations and the expectations of fans in particular for 100 Thieves Next. How do you feel about that? How does that, does that affect the mental of the team at all, or you individually as a player?
Um, I think it can affect people on our team. Like nobody in specific or anything like that. Sometimes me, sometimes the other players, but I don't think for me personally, I care too much about the expectations of fans or people that are watching us. Whether it's good or bad, I think it's just kind of a waste of mental space for me because the only people who can actually see what we're doing in scrims and stuff like that is the people that we're surrounded by, right? And I think we know what we can do and what we can achieve, and that's what's most important to us as a group.
Well, you also have experience playing in high pressure situations from your past
Hmm.
on academy teams, even that's in LCS last year. So I'm curious, as an individual player now, you find yourself on 100 Thieves Next playing Improving Grounds. You still have an opportunity to make the Cinderella lower bracket run. Every team, every year, we have one team that does it. So there's absolutely a chance that you can. But I'm curious on an individual level, what your expectations are for yourself. What's next for Insanity? What are you trying to prove here in this tournament specifically?
I guess I'm just trying to use it as practice for myself. I don't want to fall too far behind the rest of my competition. I think we can win the whole thing, and I think all the players on this team deserve spots or chances, I guess, in LCS Academy, wherever. But for me, I just want to make sure the team, all of us improve over the year and figure out where we belong to be. And as well, for me personally, I just want to experience this, I guess, and see how far we can go.
I like it. Focus on the growth, focus on the whole team and not just individuals there. Now, final question to wrap up here. Your next opponent will be a rematch against an academy team. This time it's 100 Thieves Academy, so we get a civil war brewing right now. I want to give you the podium. What message do you have for the competition? Strike fear in their hearts right now, Insanity. I want to hear it.
Good luck, have fun. That's all I have to say.
Just classic GLH, Jeff. Thank you so much, Insanity, for coming out and chatting with us. And best of luck preparing for your match on Friday.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And with that said, we'll bring back on the casters here to chat about our next match that we have coming up here because, of